And welcome to the Jay and Rob Toy Show, a very, very special episode this week. I'm not even going to go further than that. Let me bring in my collaborator, the Prince Adam to my He-Man, the Captain Power to the Power Suit. I don't know. I'm trying to get a Captain Power reference in there for Danny, Mr. Jay Bartlett.
So he's gonna have to make another a sequel to part.
It's already outdated. I've just dated his video.
Yeah. Sure he appreciates that. What's up, my brother?
No, it's just a busy time, and that kind of brings us to the biggest news off the top of the show. We should tackle it head on. Do you want to give the news? Should I give the news? What do you think? Where should we go with this?
Well, I think given the circumstances, I think it's only proper that you deliver the news.
Oh, so I'm the asshole. I'm the bad guy.
No, not saying that. It came to a shock just as much to me as it's going to come to everyone else. So, yeah, go for it.
All right, I'm the bad guy. We've got to take a break from the Jay and Rob Toy Show. Now, that's just a break. That's not, we're ending the show. It's not an indefinite hiatus. It's not going away. We want to call this episode a bit of a farewell, a season finale, if you will, to season 1 that is now 28 episodes deep. The simple reality is there's a lot going on with everything in my world these days. The transition of this show alone to a television version of it is a lot to tackle. Throw in the success of something like Faking Filmation, the continued rollout of Action Figure Adventure, just day-to-day projects that I'm doing. It's a lot to manage a weekly live stream podcast and get ready for it and do it justice and really pay it the attention that it needs to. And I don't want something that we're doing with our names on it to suffer. I think if we're going to put something out there, I think it needs to be the best as it could be, as always. So we're going to take a bit of a break and then come back when the plate's a little bit more clear and maybe do something that is a little bit more created in camera with higher quality standards so that it actually resembles the TV show that we're creating right now, which I think in turn will be a little bit easier for us to manage and create something that has, again, higher production values, which can only benefit everything we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it, like the end of a season. I think a 28 episode season is pretty darn good. Yeah, it's not ending. Absolutely not. It's just we're busy. Yeah. And so you can't have the quality suffer. So we're just stepping back a bit. At least Rob is. I'm pursuing some kind of podcast, which I haven't identified yet.
Here we go. At least Rob stepping back. You just see that bus that just went by? The bus went by and I went underneath it there.
No. It's something we both love doing. And it's something that I have to do. I have to have these nerd talks with my fellow nerds because it's just, I mean, I've done podcasting. You and I have done podcasting for 10 years now. So it's something that I very much enjoy. So fear not, Rob and I will be back together. In the meantime, you will just see my gorgeous face in whatever capacity that is, but stay tuned for that.
Well, going forward from here on, we're going to answer some of the viewer questions that we get. I had a backlog from our Patreon members, specifically Danny. I have like 34 questions from Danny. Now, we're not going to get to them all, Danny, but we're going to highlight a couple of them to talk about. And we're obviously going to do an action figure spotlight as well to round it off. And for the action figure spotlight, let me just show you the box that I got for my action figure spotlight. This is the box.
Nice.
The big hero box.
I like what you're doing lately, by the way, where you're actually kind of unboxing it a little bit on camera. That's a pretty cool idea.
Thanks. Now I should say the box that I got, the item that was inside this, is maybe a little bit bigger than the dimensions of this box.
Okay, that's not from Amazon, is it?
No, it's not from Amazon, but it's an interesting segue that you should say. So that'll be for Action Figure Spotlight. For Amazon. Sure. A follow-up to the Battle Cat that I ordered Panther, or however you want to say it. And because it was $5 off, I thought, what could go wrong? At least it'll be a matching cripple set or whatever you want to call it. Just crippled and rippled and torn apart. What could go wrong? But I gotta say, for the most part, this turned out pretty good. This is not all that bad. There's a bit of a bend to the card, but it's not creased or bent or anything. It just needs to be flattened. But all the corners are perfect. The window
Yeah.
itself is pretty perfect. There may be a little bit of damage on this corner right there.
The
That's about it.
very very fragile Mattel windows. They're like
Yeah.
actual glass windows. So yeah, I'm glad that's intact for you.
In about 5 years, that'll be yellow, and if you blow on it, it'll shatter like glass. So yeah, I'm still gonna open this, but I'll probably keep the packaging because it's cool. I thought it was an interesting decision that on the front it's just regular Skeletor, but on the back it's Battle Armor Skeletor.
Gotta sell both versions. Gotta sell them.
Yeah,
both.
cross sell. Gotta sell them. Gotta sell them all. Get them done.
So I thought again, Monfrere. I thought we were all done from Origins, but it appears that when you see that little $5 ticky tack sticker on there, you're like, pick it up. Might as well.
No, I'm done. I'm totally done. I don't need any. Do not look at my Big Bad Toy Store cart because I don't need any.
Yeah, we'll see.
By the time season 2 starts, it'll be nothing but Origins behind me. Like, what's going on? Well, it was $5 off.
I still love how affordable that line is. It's one of the things that really draws me to it. It's really affordable. Of course, the quality is nowhere near the originals or classics, but I still really like them.
That's honestly such a leading factor to pick in any of that stuff up. The artwork on the packaging, specifically the window boxes or the 2-ups, that the packaging and the price point is just unbeatable. Which leads me to my icebreaker for this season finale, Jay. Right now, let's say you have $1,000 to spend on toys. What are you going to spend it on? And how are you going to spend it?
Someone asked me this question. I think it was Scott a little while ago. What I was looking for next from my personal collection. I want the Mego Buck Rogers ship. It's notoriously rare and it's very fragile. And if you've ever seen it, there's not a lot to it. A lot of them, because of the plastics of Mego back in the day, it's a white ship, so a lot of them have that NES stained yellow look. And there's a lot of tips that go on the ends of it. Those are often missing. But I would like to get one of those because I think it's one of the coolest looking ships out there. I'm on the hunt for that. Average is about 600. So I would take the 1,000. I would go for that. What about you?
Yeah, you would just plunk it down right on eBay, no questions asked.
Well, the thing is, you rarely see it on eBay. That's the other thing too. So it's scarce when eBay hardly has it. There's a lot of great companies that make replicas of it, but I want the original. Even if it was pretty beat up, I would take the original over a replica. But there's some pretty nice 3D printed ones out there.
Well, that's fair. I don't know what I would do if I had $1,000. I would either pick up some commemorative Masters of the Universe figures that came out in 2002, just before 2000X, with the black case, but it's like the original figure inside. There's a couple 5-packs and there's a 10-pack as well that are pretty sweet. Or I would dive pretty deep into Superpowers. I wouldn't get too far on Superpowers. I'd probably get 2 or 3 carded characters, but that would be a nice addition to the collection because I don't have many Superpowers, to be honest. So that would be something.
We shot a lot of them. You shot a couple. I think you had Wolverine in the package for Action Figure Adventure Season 1.
Of Secret Wars, yeah.
Secret Wars, you're saying Superpowers, right?
Yeah,
I was looking at that line actually the other day, and I was hoping that the package would arrive from Nathan. He picked up something, him and his wife, very special for me that I've wanted forever. Should I just say it, or I don't know.
Well, you can wait till next season. It's up to you.
No, he messaged, I think, in our Robin J hero page, and said, "Hey, we were talking about the Superpowers Batmobile." And he's like, he asked what it looked like, and then Scott put a picture of it, and he's like, "Hey, I've seen that at a flea market or antique store." So I'm like, all right, we'll go check it out. And it was reasonable, so he picked it up for me. Pick it up, ship it off. So
well, good deal, then.
My point is, I was looking into Superpowers a lot too, and I got to be honest, I really want to get that Superman Walker thing because
the Justice Jogger.
Yeah, it's so hilarious. I gotta.
It's ridiculous. You have to get it right.
Yeah, it's like so unbelievable that a bunch of suits got together in a board meeting and said, "This is a good idea. Let's greenlight this thing." Even though Superman can, turn back time by flying around the planet, don't worry about that. He needs a Justice Jogger, so I'm gonna get one of those, dude. That'll probably be like 10-15 bucks, probably.
Well, that'll be a good score if you can get it. If you really want to add that to your collection. No, I
Yeah.
like oddball stuff. I had the Lex Luthor that punched himself in the face for Action Figure Adventure. It's an easy figure to find. I'm probably going to get that, and Bob Lagoon. I'm going to start a shelfie of just figures that are so bad they're good.
Bob the
Yeah.
Goon.
Yeah,
that
and
was
like face punching Lex is going to be the star of that shelf. Speaking of superhero stuff, you know what line is just as expensive as Legends? Is the Marvel Universe line, which is the 3 3/4 Marvel
Yeah.
Universe stuff. That it didn't end that long ago. It started in 2009, and they're amazing figures,
Mhm.
but they're like $40 a pop sometimes.
Yeah, I still have Silver Surfer that came with Galactus. I think I gave Galactus to our buddy. I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, but I kept Surfer because I've always loved Surfer and Thanos and all that stuff. Yeah, I remember those, and then Legends came, and that was kind of the end of the 3.75. So
Yeah, because I was hoping to look back at them and maybe pick a few up because I really like the 3 3/4 scale. They're like, again, a good evolution of the Secret Wars or Superpowers, depending on your flavor of those figures. And it's like, oh, cool, same scale, better figure, better sculpt, better articulation. It'd be great to have some. But when I started looking at them, I'm like, oh, I just can't justify that price point plus shipping plus import fees and all that. Which brings me to the. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say a really cool line that kind of runs parallel with Marvel Legends is the DC Universe Multiverse line by McFarlane. I have a couple of those, and they come with their own stands. I have Fortnite figures from McFarlane too that also come with their own stands, and it's really nice. Those stands are really nice. The plastic they use on those figures is so solid. Like we were talking about NECA the other day, and just the nightmare that NECA plastic is, right?
Well, that's the topic of the week, Jay. I gotta say, what have we learned?
Let me close it
Absolutely
off.
nothing.
Yeah, the DC guys. I just got. This isn't Spotlight, but I got the Super Friends Batman style,
Yeah.
the Bob Kane style, and yeah, they're really great. They're really great figures, man. So check them out. All right, let's hear your tales of sorrow. Tell everybody your tales.
What have we learned? Nothing. So last episode, I opened up a box that had been kicked a few times down a hallway like a soccer ball, evidently, and there was loose cartoon NECA turtles in there, and I wasn't sure if they were going to be okay. And I pulled out Baxter and I pulled out Splinter, and they were fine. And then I pulled out this guy here. So this is Android Krang. Okay. Now, awesome. First of all, the Krang that's in here is not the Krang that fits in here. This is the Krang from the 2-pack release from the first wave, but this one fits in so much easier. The other one, you have to get a hammer to fit it in there. But I thought, okay, cool, I got this guy. And as soon as I tried to pose him, I literally set him on my shelf. His foot snapped off, just like that. Completely done, without question. Game over. Now it's a clean break, but it is right at the hinge. So I'll be able to glue it back on for the sake of putting it on my shelf for a shelfie. But yeah, like just touching this, I can feel how fragile and like misweighted it is. It's really unfortunate that that's the case. And when that happened, I said, I'm never opening a NECA turtle figure and I'm never buying any more. And then A-Stuck went on pre-order and I had to buy them.
Yeah, I saw that. Weak. That's okay.
It's A-Stuck.
Yeah, I mean, I just did. Well, I don't want to give away my action figure spotlight, but I've dove deep into a certain line. You know what I'm talking about from NECA, and I just did a figure on my YouTube page, just the last review I did, and I almost broke him. So we'll get to that. But my Slash and Leatherhead, because I haven't seen the show in a long time, I thought his leg was supposed to be gimpy. I thought he had like some kind of a limp or something, right? I didn't know. His leg was all down like this. And then when I put the review up, this was like 6-8 months ago, some guy's like, dude, like his leg isn't supposed to go that way. And that's when, he told me about running the NECA joints under hot water. and it loosens them up. I didn't know that, but
Oh,
it's almost to the point now where any NECA figure I take out, before I even shoot it, the whole point of the review is that this is my first time touching the figure, right? So I don't want to like play with it and stuff before, because that's no fun. But I'm almost tempted to take it out of the box, loosen up the joints, and then go forward with it, right? Because the especially the turtles, $70 Canadian for a 2-pack, and then something like that happens, like that's just bullcrap.
yeah. It left me feeling pretty crappy, and that makes it so much easier to draw the line in the sand after the 4 frogs. And I'm not going to open any of my guys now. Originally, I was going to, free them from their plastic prisons on my shelf and, set them up in some sort of cool play feature. But if I got to sit here and submerge them all in water or take a hair dryer to them, I don't know. It just seems to take the fun away. That they just can't produce something quality. I'd rather just, have a Super 7 Ultimate and never question the quality or the build of it, because I know it's going to be great and solid and work like it should every time out of the box.
The NECA plastic almost feels like sculpting clay, and you could argue that because the material it's made from, that's how they get the insane details. They can sculpt it, bend it more. I don't know, going into the artistry of it. It certainly seems that way, but then you pick up a Playmates turtle or a Mattel He-Man from '82, and you can throw it against the wall, and it's going to be just fine. But these NECA guys, especially the one I'm going to spotlight at the end, I almost broke a couple things. We'll get into that, man, because it's actually, now that we're talking about it, it's actually ridiculous, and it's really a shame because they have so many amazing licenses, right? So it's like I don't want to stop, but at the same time, it's like, what do you do, right?
Yeah, it's sad. We don't have a lot planned for the show, folks. Like I said, this is more just a chance to kind of let you know what's going on, to wrap things up, so you're not just kind of cut off without knowing why there weren't any more episodes. I do want to get to some questions. I've got 3 from Danny. We're probably not going to have time for all 3. His first question, Jay, is if you had your choice of any prototype from a produced or unproduced figure, which would you pick?
Rocket firing Boba Fett, hands down.
Just because of the rarity in the story? You'd rather have that than Jedi Knight Luke?
Yeah. It's, as you know, if anyone watching has watched Nintendo Quest, Rob and I, we love the story behind anything, right? So rocket firing Boba Fett is such a legend, such a myth in the toy industry.
Did you say Nintendo Quest instead of Action Figure Adventure?
No, because I was referencing Stadium Events, where Stadium Events is an average game at best, but the story behind Stadium Events is so awesome that it makes the game legendary, right? So that's why I would want Boba Fett.
That's fair. I'm scrambling to think of a good figure that has like a story behind it. That isn't Lex Luthor punch yourself in the face.
What you think of that? Of course, like some of our favorite figures, like a Warduke prototype from Advanced D&D would be great, or Jedi Knight Luke from Kenner would be awesome. But just going for like I said, the story of the rocket firing Boba Fett is, for so many years nobody knew, because there was no internet stuff. Did this thing ever get released? Lots of people said they had it, but we all know that's not true because it was never released to the public. So
I think if I was going to pick one based on story, it would probably have to be like the Skeletor prototype, the Lords of Power version, which recently just got reintroduced in the Origins line with that 5-pack that was available from PowerCon. Skeletor looks a little bit different, but Mark Taylor talks about how he took them to a play test and they were still so new that the paint on them was tacky to the touch. And just to have something that was part of that play test that really kind of opened the doors for anything Masters to happen would be really cool. And of course Skeletor, because I think Skeletor is probably the coolest character out of all the Master stuff, at least that first wave. He-Man's alright, but And
I love how Mark Taylor talks about He-Man and Skeletor, where he says, when you were a kid and it was time for play, there was no doubt who the bad guy was, and there was no doubt who the good guy was. And you just grabbed him, and he was doing this motion, smacking them together. And he's like, we wanted figures that were sturdy enough because they're both muscle heads, so they're going to be fighting each other. Yeah. Just really cool, right?
Yeah, you don't have to tell a kid. They look at them and they know what to do.
Yeah. The skull guy is bad. The blonde muscle guy is the good guy. It's easy. Yeah.
Totally. Danny's second question actually talks about Nintendo Quest and Action Figure Adventure. He wants to know, between Nintendo Quest and Action Figure Adventure, you guys have met a lot of people in almost all aspects of both video games and the action figure world, both in business and collecting communities. Did any of your questing adventures affect your views on collecting? Did making either of those series or films or whatever you want to call them, Jay, affect your view on collecting?
Absolutely. Yeah. The video game collecting community is similar to the action figure, but at the same time miles apart. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but of course, just the collections we got to see for Nintendo Quest, the way people displayed them, the justification for buying things. Yeah, of course, it's some of it stuck with me and some of it didn't, right? And Action Figure Adventure, yeah. I mean, I didn't get to see as many collections as Rob did. Rob was shooting all the interviews, but the ones I did see, like Peter's, was it's breathtaking, right? It's insane.
Carson's.
So of course, Carson's. So it's like you see something like Carson's Toys R Us from 1985 or whatever, and you're like, okay, I want that now. So you kind of aspire to start working on something like that without plagiarizing.
It's funny because for me, it's the opposite. Seeing those collections, it's like, you know what? I don't have the time and the money to get to that point. And I'm really going to pick and choose to have a smaller collection than this thing that's so vast and so all encompassing and really takes on a life of its own. So that's what I learned about collecting, knowing my own personal goals and what they have to be and limitations to satisfy me on what I want on my shelf.
Yes, and we've been asked, both of us have been asked multiple times, do you collect lines to completion? And again, to go further, to take that further, I say, it's not a goal of mine because I get what makes me happy and what brings me joy. I don't have like OCD to the point where it's like I have to finish this entire line. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Anyway. Maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe I should be more focused. You were gonna say it. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. You do what you got to do.
I'm gonna say too. By the way,
different pots.
I love your jacket. That is Heath Ledger Joker bank robbery jacket from the beginning of Dark Knight. It's awesome. Very cool.
It's been the same jacket every single episode.
It did. I didn't see the purple before. It looked darker to me.
Oh, it's not purple. It's dark blue. It's just the way that it looks.
Oh,
well, it's just because I have a light on me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, now it's not purple anymore. Hey, let's move on. How do we move on?
All right. His last question is pertaining those to films that we made as well. I'm sure we all learned something watching Nintendo Quest and Action Figure Adventure, but what stands out to you as something previously unknown that you found so fascinating? So is there something you learned?
Yep.
All right, we'll go for
it. You don't care too much. I can't remember how much of this is in Nintendo Quest, but at the end of the film, I'm standing in a driveway, and Rob and Jordan are just bombarding me with this question that I didn't have an answer to, which is, okay, now you've gone on this quest. What do you want to do with your life, basically? And I was just, what do you mean? What do I want to do with my life? And it only took, a couple of years till I figured out I want to do this. I want to be in this world of collecting. I want to be surrounded by my passions and do that for a living. But how do you describe that to somebody? Well, it's easy. We call it the guy. I wanted to be the guy.
Yeah, you wanted to be the guy. And they have no idea how long we were sitting in that driveway bombarding you with questions and trying to come at it different ways, different styles, different tones. But yeah, I mean, it's like, well, how has this changed you? How are you going to be different going forward? Well, those big character arc questions. It's funny though, because similarly, I would say that my answer to this question is equally worded almost the same. Instead of being the guy, I want to be able to tell the story of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
All these pop culture things that we love. Why do they still matter today when most of them ended 20, 30, 40 years ago? Well, that's because there's still people today that are living their lives surrounded by that. And I think that's what makes them important. So documenting those stories and those personal journeys, that's that's the thing that I learned. That's why I love that stuff, because it didn't die. It wasn't just a nostalgic fascination. They're still important. They're still part of us today. So it's not rose-colored glasses 100%. It's like, yeah, that was cool then, and you know what? It's still cool now, and here's why. Because here's this guy who's doing this thing, and he's the guy, and Jay wants to be the guy, so Jay can be
Yeah.
the guy.
Yeah, I mean, nostalgia is it's a powerful drug, man. And it's easy to get, wear those rose-colored glasses, and we found that with a lot of the NES games. Remember, we would buy the games and then play them in the hotel that night from whatever city we were in, and we're just like, ew, like, let's not play that one again. But yeah, there's something about toys are a little different because you can look at it, you can touch it, you can do what you want with it. It doesn't require hours upon hours of your attention, and I think that's the big difference for me with collecting figures to collecting games.
Well, that's a whole nother question. What is the big difference between the two? I mean, because in some ways you could say you can play games because you can take them out of the box if they're not factory sealed and play them and enjoy them in a different way than you can with figures that are packaged,
Yeah.
Again, two different communities, although there's a lot of overlap. The commercial side of it, the store side of it is similar, but yet still different. It's hard to really compare and contrast, because as much as they're related in that pop culture space, there really is a clear distinction between gamers and game collectors and action figure collectors and toy aficionados.
You
Both
answered
fascinating
this.
differently.
You answered this a few years ago. I asked you that question. I'm like, what is when we started shooting Action Figure Adventure season 1, and you said video gaming by nature is competitive, so therefore collecting video games is also competitive. Where I don't find that at all in the action figure. Like I haven't come across it. I'm sure it's
Oh,
out there.
come on.
I haven't.
Come
No,
on.
I
You
really
want to
haven't.
show your shelf is better than my shelf.
No, 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 not at all. Not at all. Because you look at something like Carson, and that's a dedication to one brand that I certainly don't have the discipline to do. And I'm not saying Carson just likes G.I. Joe, but he's had the focus enough to stay on just that one brand. That's why he has amazing Serpentor statues and replica helmets, right? It's Joe. I don't have that. I just couldn't do it. I did Star Wars for the longest time, just Star Wars, but since we started shooting this, I've fallen in love with all this stuff that I haven't looked at in a little while, right? It's always been
Well,
with me, but
if you're gonna pick one line, there's certainly a lot that GI Joe offers. So I can't
sure.
blame Carson for easily sticking within that lane. And he has some other stuff out there too. He hasn't just done only Joe. He's done Exo
Yeah, I
Squad.
know, yeah, but listen to how weird this is. The nice weather is here in Canada. It's almost May, so it's sunny. It's starting to get warmer. See if you can
And
figure this
you've
one out.
still got your fireplace on.
Yeah, well, Rob,
And
it's
scarf.
fire. Anyway, um, the summertime is reminding me of GI Joe. So now all of a sudden I have this urge to pick up the Mark Bellomo book and let's go, okay, and let's fill some gaps in the collection. Isn't that weird? It's now like the toys have different seasons. I can't explain that. I don't know what that means. Maybe because we're in Carson's in the summer, but
Well, we would used to play outside too in the nice
yeah,
weather.
but just GI Joe specifically reminds me of summer. Like I didn't go hard into Joe collecting during the winter months, but now that's all I could think about because the warm weather. Isn't that strange?
Well, I mean, there must be some sort of trigger there, and that's all right.
Good answer, Rob. Good answer.
I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I don't know why you need different dollies for different times of the years. That's your problem.
It's a
Jeez, stick to one thing.
great conversation, Rob.
This is just a fantastic season finale. Or should we say series finale at this point? All right, let's make it with action figure spotlight. Do you want to go first, or am I going first?
Mine is no surprise, so we'll pull mine out. This came on my YouTube channel this week, and hey, there's Liam. He wants to be in the season finale. There he is. I have to apologize. My tripod fell apart, so you're only getting one video this week. So I got another one on order. This one, Rob affectionately calls Diaper Marty, but this is Tales from Space. Marty McFly, when Marty first enters 1955 by NECA. Rob doesn't like his midsection because the way
It's so awful.
the articulation is. Where is it? Right there. It looks like
It's
he's got
so
a big
baggy.
diaper. Yeah.
It does look like like a baggy diaper. Come on.
As I've said in all my videos, they just get better. This is by far the best one out of the 3 that I've done so far. It's so cool. The way the helmet.
So off base.
No. The way the helmet is. So, like I said in my video, you can recreate any frame of that scene in the barn or when he's shooting Doc before. So you can have the hood up, the hood down, the mask all the way off. It's just really super cool. Now this is where we were talking about NECA. You're not going to be able to see it too well, and I'm not going to take it out. Right here, the Walkman and the hair dryer have that. Do you have April O'Neil in your collection?
Yep.
Okay, so April, the straps on her camera and her microphone are so thin. These are even thinner. And as I was putting the hair dryer in Marty's hand, the cord's doing this. All I had to do was that, and it would have snapped and pulled right off. That's got to change, NECA. That is ridiculous. So when I'm reviewing this, I was literally like holding it like this because I felt that because of the weight of the hard, or it wasn't even soft rubber, it was going to pull right off. There's no excuse for this, especially when this guy's $40 Canadian. You got to make your stuff a little bit sturdier. So I don't know. So I'm right there with you on the NECA stuff, but there's the back. Oh. So you can put them in any pose. 3 reviewed, 3 to go. But I love this line. NECA just today announced 2015 Doc. So second wave, I'm all in. I'm super excited for that.
Well, I showed you the box before.
You look like Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith, dude. Turn sideways again. Look at that. Look at that hair. It's like perfect. Awesome. Okay,
sorry.
Go on. Yeah.
I showed you guys the box earlier, and the contents, I think it was a little bit bigger than this, which is why this is kind of a bit of on an angle. There was certainly not any nice packaging around it.
Where is it from?
Just a couple. This was an eBay exclusive.
Okay.
But you're talking about thinking about different lines, and I'm talking about thinking about different lines. And so I saw something. It was the biggest regret that I had to let go from all the stuff that we gathered for Action Figure Adventure, and I just needed it back in the collection. It just needed to fill that shelf. It needed to make me feel like a more complete person, and that is Superpowers Batmobile.
Nice.
With box. Now, I haven't opened it yet, but I do want to point out this side here. I don't know if you can see here, but there is the piece of tape still on the one side. Wow. So that's nice there. Now, it's not sealed. It's opened. But let's discover together what kind of condition this thing is in. I'm already seeing that this is off the box. Thank you, Shipping Canada Post.
Yeah, but it's still pretty decent shape, that box.
Yeah, the other one I had for Action Figure Adventure was better. So
I thought you kept it. I honestly thought you kept it. I had no idea.
No, I didn't. No, I had to let it go. That was the deal. Now this is nice. I do have the instructions.
Oh, nice.
So this looks like it's in okay condition. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't even want to touch this with my hand because it's almost like Bible paper, really brittle.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to have to get another set of instructions that I can touch. Let's investigate.
So while Rob's opening that, I will say we don't always agree on the same kind of things. Look at Liam standing there. But we both agree that this is one of, if not the greatest toy, like vehicle-wise, of all time. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that thing. Oh.
So stickers and everything on the inside are perfectly mint and crispy.
Yeah.
The headlights work fine. Battering ram seems to work fine. And
the thrusters, or what is that? Oh,
there we go.
To grab Joker, that's right.
To grab Joker. It's funny because I had this in my office and my daughter came down and she said, "Oh my God, that's amazing!" And she's like 3 years old. She's like, "It's Batman's car and he's getting Joker." So,
can you
Superpowers Batmobile.
Do me a favor? I don't know if you've ever noticed this. Well, I was. in the market for the Batmobile as well. I was checking out a bunch of eBay auctions, and I found one in the box, and I never really noticed the box art. Can you hold the front of the box up for a second?
Yeah.
Just put the camera on you, and I'm going to describe what I see. They are hitting Joker with the car.
Oh yeah, they're running him down. Big
They're
time.
ramming Joker. All these years of we can't kill him, Robin, and in the box art, they're actually mowing down Joker. I just find that hilarious.
And they do the same thing to Penguin on the back.
Yeah,
Right
that battering ram would literally break every bone in someone's body. And Joker and Penguin are just dudes. I just think that's funny.
Yeah, it's all about how you're supposed to use it, the play function. But that is it for Action Figure Spotlight. Jay, any parting thoughts for the end of season 1, our final episode?
Yeah, it's been a great season 1. We couldn't have done this without you guys. There's way too many of you regular viewers to. I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm not going to say anybody. You guys know who you are. You're there each and every Monday night, faithfully, and it's very humbling to do a live podcast. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot more challenging than pre-recorded, but we do appreciate the highlights of all the great guests that we had. Larry Kenny obviously is. I think that was a dream come true for both of us, and it was just a lot of fun. And thank you again, all you viewers, all the Patreon viewers, and we'll see you in season 2. And I can't wait.
Yeah, there's not too much I can add there, Jay. Thanks for taking half the things I had thought of, but it was a great 28 episodes that go out there, and our previous Patreon only episodes have now been added to YouTube. If you want to check them out, I think there's 3 or 4 that we added, but it's just been a fun experience and an evolution of what we started at to where we ended up, and it's certainly not goodbye. It's just a matter of when are we coming back and what's it going to look like then. And we may do live streams again here and there, special events with things that are going on. We may live stream from the road at a hotel or something like that, and
hoping for that.
Y'all in. Yeah, bring y'all in with the experiences that are going on, or live from a toy store or a con. It's going to be great to see what happens in the next chapter, and that's what excites me. So I'm not even focusing on the fact that this is a pause for now. It's just what can we do when we get the time to do it the best going forward. That's truly exciting for me. And so with that, Jay, remind us where we can find you on the social medias.
YouTube under Jay Bartlett. It's very simple. I do 2 videos a week, and I just have a lot of fun, continuing from this. We love to talk about toys. That's what I do. I love to unbox things, and it gives me an excuse to play with them, right? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, just Jay Bartlett. Just Jay Bartlett.
And you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Rob McZob, at Rob McCallum Films, and on TikTok as well at Rob McZob, or robmczob.com, which is probably the easiest way to keep up with me, because all the different projects that we do are all kind of housed there. Or just hit the like button to this video, subscribe, and you'll see everything that comes up. It's been a pleasure. It's been an awesome season 1. Like every show before this, we'll end this one the same way. Jay, for the love of toys and the warmth of scarves, take care of yourselves
and each other.
Because the best time of day, Jay, is
obviously playtime, dude.
It's playtime.